Okay, hello and good morning. Let's talk about today's bell work. Tomorrow I plan on having a practice test for both MCR and geometry. So look up here. This one is just simply some more review on quadratic equation. And here you got to get it equal to 0. So let me think about this. If I put a 0 here, I can leave the 2m squared, and then I can move the 11m, which is going to turn into a positive 11m. And when I do that, that looks like that's going to be 5m, so plus 5m. And then when I move the negative 6 over to this side, it changes to a positive 6. And so now I have my A, my B, and my C. So now I can say x equals negative b squared minus 4 times ac, all divided by 2a. And now I'm going to put my numbers in there. So I'm going to say negative b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So I get a negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 25. 4 times 2 is 8 times 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So that's going to give me a negative 48. And divide it by 4. Now the problem here is, let me make sure all my numbers are right real quick. Let's see what's going on. 2m squared, that becomes a plus. And that becomes, okay. So it looks like this is going to be more negative. So this is going to be no solution here, because you can't take the square root of a negative number. So that's going to be a negative something, a negative 23. And if you try that on your calculator, it's going to say no solution. So you're going to press 23, put a negative, hit shift, square root, and it's going to say error. And really what's going on here is it's a parabola. This is a parabola because it's to the second degree, but it's above the x-axis or below the x-axis. It does not cross the x-axis. And since it doesn't cross the x-axis, you have no solution. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And your worksheet looks like this. Okay, let's take a look at geometry. So geometry is going to be this. All right, so the first one you got to use SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. And this is a review, so put a dot right here because you're standing at the 12. Label your sides. Across from the dot will always be your opposite. The ones that touch the dot, like this one touches and this one touches, are adjacent. But this one is a special adjacent because it's across from the box. That's called your hypotenuse. So that's the longest side. So the only one left is the adjacent. And there they are. Opposite. Notice that if my finger's here, opposite does not touch my finger. So opposite, and then adjacent touches, and hypotenuse touches. Okay, so make sure you know how to label your sides. That's the first step. The next step is to figure out what trig function. Well, you're trying to get x, so that's opposite. And you know what a is, or the adjacent. So you're looking for something with an O and an A. Well, this one has an O but no A. This one has an A but no O. This one right here has an O and an A, so it's tangent of 12 degrees. And this is a review for your EOC. And the A is on the bottom. So whichever one has an A, this one has an A, so the 4 is on the bottom. And the x is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? Anyway, so we're going to multiply by 4, and we're done. So the 4's cancel, so x equals, you clear your calculator, and you press 12, and then you press 10, and then you do times 4. And I want you to check your answers. So this is 0.85. I think I put the answers next to the problems on today's work. All right, also, this one is a review, and this is an EOC question. Okay, so the two that touch the box go together. So these two in the box, they go together. So one of these is A and B, and it doesn't matter. So it's 3 squared plus x squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. The hypotenuse is always alone. Write that down. Anyway, so we're going to get 9 plus x squared is equal to 25. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. And when we do, we get x squared is equal to, I think that's going to be 16. And then we're going to do the square root of 16, which gives us 4. And 4 should be the answer. This is a classic 3, 4, 5 right triangle. It's a classic right triangle. Let's go on. This one right here deals with Euler's formula, and I've been trying to find something online, but I didn't. So here is what I'm going to tell you. Florida, this is the way I'm going to remember it. Florida virtual school. Florida virtual school is equal to episode 2. And so you might come up with something better. Let's see if there's something else. Florida virtual school episode 2. Maybe there's something better out there. Anyway, let's take a look at how we're going to use this on today's worksheet. Well, there's something called a polyhedron, so let's do that first down here. A polyhedron is a solid with many faces, usually more than 6. So if you look here at this triangular, because the bottom is a triangle, this triangular pyramid, because it comes to a point. This one has 1 face, 2 face, 3, 4 faces. Well, by this definition, it wouldn't be a polyhedron, but it still is a solid. Okay, so let's say they give us the vertices. These are the edges. The points are the vertices, and these are your faces. So edge is like the edge of a knife, okay, or the edge of your paper. The points are called vertices. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these. Here's an example. Okay, so Florida virtual school episode 2. So some kind of way you got to memorize that. So here they give you the faces. So here the F, you're going to put a 6. They don't give you the vertices. We're looking for that. The edges are 12. So if you can solve this equation, you got your answer. So you're going to get 6 plus V is equal to 14. And then you're going to subtract 6. So the number of vertices in this case is going to be 8. And vertices are your points, okay? So there it is, and that's how you use this formula. We'll do one more. Florida virtual school equals episode 2. Okay? And they're both pluses when you write it like this. So the faces are 5. The vertices are 6. We don't know the edges. So you're going to get 11 is equal to edges plus 2. So all you do is subtract 2 and you get the number of edges is equal to 9. Remember that edges are like the edges of the paper. The faces are the bigger parts, and then the points, these points right here are called vertices. So like this one has 4 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 faces. But anyway, you got to memorize that formula, so say it again. Florida virtual school episode 2. All right, so that's pretty much what we're doing today. Today you're going to be doing that, and they give you some different names, so try to memorize those. And on the back side, we just have a pure review, which is trig functions, and the answers are right there. All right, have a good morning.